Welcome to the Fireside Chat for Fitness and Nutrition with Adrienne and Ken. Please like and subscribe to get our newest content. And today we're going to be talking about different types of stretches and also foods to help with muscle health. Ken, would you like to kick us off today?
I would, Adrienne. Yes, I like the four major different types of stretches are dynamic, static, PNF, and then myofascial. I'm going to demonstrate each one and when and why would you want to do each one. Dynamic is if you do this, basically mimic the motion that you're going to perform before you do it. So it's a good for warming up. So a good, like say for instance, if you want to warm up your chest, you want to go like this. So this kind of mimics chest press, a push-up, stuff like that. If you want to do, you're going to work on shoulders. You want to do some shoulder circles. These are just mimicking the range of motion that you're going to go through before you do the event. If you're going to do hips, if you're going to do running, you want to do it like this. This is going to help with, getting your hips warmed up. Let's say, for instance, if you want to go like this, just walk around for 20 steps, do this for 20 steps, because these are things when you go rocking or jogging that you're going to use anyway. So this is getting those muscles used to the motion, getting the synovial fluid working, getting the blood into the muscle that you're going to be using. So that's the dynamic movement. So basically anything that you're going to be doing, you're going to be using that muscle for, you want to mimic it with really no stress on it. It's before you load it. So, if you're going to do walking as well, you want to walk around on your tiptoes for 20 steps, walk around on your heels for 20 steps. That's going to get those muscles warmed up, but it's not going to put a lot of load on it, and that'll help prevent pulling. So static stretching is what you want to do after you do an exercise or after you walk or after you jog. I like to use a stretching strap for some of the stretches, but here is a static stretch. Basically, you're just going to hold a stretch for 30 seconds to a minute. What that's going to do is that's going to release the tension in the muscles. This is, again, good for after you've done an exercise. This is an example of a static stretch. And this is a passive stretch, passive form of a static stretch, in that you're using another muscle group to stretch that. So that is an example of a passive static stretch. This is an active static stretch where you're using the opposite muscle group to stretch the other muscle group. So using the quadriceps to stretch the hamstring. So you just go ahead, put your hands behind your back, behind your thigh, and straighten your knee. So you're using the quadriceps to straighten your knee, and that's stretching the hamstring. Again, you're holding it statically or isometrically for 30 seconds to a minute, and that's going to stretch that's a static stretch. You want to do it after you do the exercise. PNF is an advanced form of static stretching to a degree. PNF stands for proprioceptive neuromuscular facilitation, and it's a very quick way to gain mobility and flexibility, but it's an advanced movement. So you want to kind of mimic, you kind of want to get the static stretching down first, do that for a couple of months before you do PNF, so that you won't, so you kind of have body awareness. But here's an example of, pardon me, of a PNF for the stretch that we just did for static. I want to say statistically, but that's not right, statically. So what you'll do is you're going to stretch the muscle, come to a point where it's stretching, not pain. Stretching should never be painful. And then you'll hold that for a count of 10. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Then what you're going to do is you're going to contract the muscle that you are stretching. So you're going to try, and for this, I'm stretching the hamstring. So you're going to try and curl your heel to your butt. But your hands, in this instance, it's attached to the stretching strap, is going to resist that. So when I contract the muscle, there's really no movement. You can't tell that I'm doing it. So you're going to go ahead and contract that muscle, try and touch your heel to your butt for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. when you relax, you should be able to come further into the stretch. It's a very quick way to improve flexibility. Again, it's more for the advanced person, someone who's been doing it for a little while, at least a couple of months, static stretching, and has an awareness of their body so that you don't hurt yourself. And then you do it again. You do it 3 to 5 times, those 3 to 5 repetitions. By the end, you're here, as opposed to when you were here at the very beginning of this stretch sequence. You'll gain a lot of flexibility in that. So it's a good way to actually improve it relatively quickly. The last one I wanted to go over with you is called myofascial release. And it involves either a lacrosse ball or a softball, or what most people know myofascial release as a foam roller. And what this does is, it's a form of stretching in that it compresses the muscle, but what it does, it increases the range of motion of a muscle because it gets rid of trigger points and adhesions in the muscle fibers. So let's say, for instance, you injured yourself and it healed, but there's some adhesions in there. There's some scar tissue, and this gets rid of that. So it improves flexibility by releasing and breaking up those adhesions. And so you want to do this for a minimum of 2 minutes on each muscle group. Finding a spot that's it's an intensity of 5 to 8 out of 1 to 10, 10 being the most intense. And you stay on that part of the muscle until it goes below level 5, and then you move on to another spot until you've reached 2 minutes. And you do this every day. Stretching is an everyday event. You can do it, and it won't hurt you. Most stretching won't hurt you. It improves mobility, flexibility, and it just makes you feel better. So do you have any questions, Adrienne, as far as what I went over?
Is PNF kind of like the way that I was understanding it is like it's a static stretch, but you're resisting it. Is that right?
So it's a contraction and relaxation of the muscle that you're stretching. So you're stretching it statically, then you're contracting it, and then you're releasing it again. So it's in that way, the muscle tells the joint it's okay. Actually, the joint tells the muscle it's okay. I'm protected. You can let go and get it, elongate yourself. So yes, it's a static plus the release and contraction of the muscle that you're trying to stretch. That's one form of PNF. So yes.
I did not know this until more recently, so thank you.
Of course.
And today we also want to talk about foods that help with muscle health too, because supporting muscle health goes beyond just getting enough protein, which is what everybody thinks about. It's a synergy of amino acids, vitamins, minerals. All of that helps keep our muscles strong, flexible, and resilient. So from athletes to weekend warriors and anybody looking to age well, muscle health is really crucial for our overall well-being, our physical performance, and also longevity. As an integrative and functional dietitian nutritionist, I'm excited to show you how certain specific foods can help you build, maintain, and repair muscle through a well-rounded approach. And we all know that muscle really does matter because it's important for mobility and balance and our metabolism. And as we age, we can lose muscle mass, and it's a process known as sarcopenia. That can increase our risk of falls. It can also reduce our independence and also slow our metabolism, which makes it easier to gain weight. So fortunately, fitness and nutrition both play a huge role in preserving and even enhancing muscle health at any stage of life. So don't give up. Let's talk about some of the foods that provide the building blocks for muscle growth, repair, and sustained strength. One we will talk about is protein, but a lot of you guys know what protein sources are out there. You just want to make sure that they are of high quality, and these are important because they're crucial for muscle repair and growth, especially after exercise or any sort of strenuous activity. You might want to include something like, if you're an omnivore, some lean meats and poultry, chicken, turkey, lean cuts of beef or pork, maybe some fish or seafood, like salmon or tuna. Eggs are a very easy source of getting protein too, especially if you hard boil them. And then for more plant-based people, there are legumes, lentils like beans, chickpeas, and then quinoa, tofu. Those are also great for getting protein while on a plant-based diet. In terms of minerals, there are a couple to really pay attention to. Magnesium is one that's essential for muscle relaxation and preventing cramps. It also helps support nerve function and balance calcium levels, so it keeps the muscles relaxed after they contract. Calcium is known for its role in bone health, but it's also important for that muscle contraction as well. And it works alongside magnesium, so it's really most beneficially at both in your diet. Potassium is something we don't really think about when it comes to muscle health, but it's essential for fluid balance, muscle function, and it can help prevent cramping, especially after exercise, especially if any runners have ever had a like Charlie horse in the middle of the night. It's really not pleasant. Zinc is also one that helps the body repair its tissues and supports immune function, which is it's vital for muscle wear after muscle wear and tear too. And so things like pumpkin seeds, beef, cashews, those are higher in zinc. So those would be something to consider including. Now that's minerals. Let's talk a little bit about 3 vitamins. Vitamin D helps absorb calcium, which also helps with our bone health and our muscles. Vitamin C helps with collagen synthesis, and that helps maintain the structure of muscles and tendons. And B vitamins are crucial for energy production, so you can have the energy to do the workout, and also red blood cell formation. That helps deliver oxygen to the muscles. And then, of course, we have things like omega-3 fatty acids. Carbohydrates, actually, nobody really thinks about them, but they are essential for energy. And our muscles rely on glycogen, that's stored glucose, for fueling during the exercise. And so they play a pretty crucial role in maintaining stamina and also preventing muscle breakdown. Whole grains like brown rice or oats would be a good idea here. Maybe some fruits like berries or bananas, apples, starchy vegetables, sweet potatoes, squash, beets. They provide complex carbohydrates, vitamins, and minerals for sustained energy as well. And of course, we never want to forget water and electrolytes too. So muscles are about 75% water. That's why we want to really stay hydrated, because it's critical for their function and recovery. And you need the electrolytes, which include things like sodium, potassium, magnesium, that help support that muscle contraction and reduce that cramping. Also, you can try things like electrolyte drinks, hydrating foods like watermelon or cucumber after a workout, coconut water, oranges, all good ideas to help stay hydrated. That's a lot, but any questions, Ken?
No, you went over a lot of stuff. I appreciate that. No, it's good stuff.
Yeah, so hopefully all of you at home will take some time to stretch in different ways today. Maybe add in a complex carb or a different type of protein source, and let us know in the comments below, like what works for you in terms of stretching, or what did you learn today? What are you going to do differently? And as always, stay tuned for our upcoming podcast. We'll look forward to seeing you all next time. Take care.
Bye.